I grew up Seventh-day Adventist.
Seventh-day Adventist, and he's a son of many things. He's the son of a preacher man in the Seventh-day Adventist church, right?
Yeah.
So and it's like his homeboys are huge now on us. Now, let me tell you what happened in the last week. Huge. They love us. They took one of our video clips. I showed it to you from a show 2 weeks ago, and they turned it into an ad, right, to advertise amongst themselves, right, about their whole thesis about, I don't know, Seventh-day Adventists should realize that their religion doesn't make sense, essentially. Am I right? I mean, something like that?
I think that's what they were saying.
It doesn't make sense because like you're only following the written Torah, the written Bible, if you will, and they don't have the oral Torah, which is like what I talk about all the time, right? I always go off on that, and I say that the written Torah on its own was never meant to be read in a vacuum. That you do that, it's like trying to enjoy a taco with just the shell. You don't have like the beans and the cheese and the rice and
the beef.
And well, okay, and the guacamole and the sour cream and whatever. All you left is a tortilla. You know, and you're like, I'm eating a taco. Like, no, idiot, you're eating a tortilla.
They call them tacos in Australia.
Yeah, those are tacos. That's
taco.
Taco.
Want to get some tacos?
Yeah, you don't. It's like a skeleton. You're going, oh look, there's a person. No, that's a skeleton. You don't even know what you're talking about. You're a fool. Okay. So that was like their point, because I was going off and explaining how about the oral Torah, that you need the oral Torah, and they took that and they spread it amongst themselves. How many views do you think that video that they turned into an ad got in less than 1 week already?
No idea.
I just checked before we went on. It was 1,075 views. This thing is going spiral, viral and spiral, right? And then there was like an ad in it to click on this for more information. You know how many ad clicks it's already gotten? 2,000 in less than 1 week coming back to see us. So I want to say a big shout out to all our friends who grew up Seventh-day Adventists. We know we're talking to quite a few.
You can criticize Seventh-day Adventist theology all you want. Seventh-day Adventist women are smoking hot.
Oh my God, there's one working at the bakery now.
No.
Yeah.
Seventh-day Adventist?
There's a Seventh-day Adventist girl who runs the counter at the bakery.
Which bakery?
Schwartz.
Really?
Oh, she's cute, man.
Really? And she's Seventh-day Adventist?
She's Seventh-day? Well, are you going to convert back?
No, but how do you know?
Because I was talking to her.
She's Seventh-day Adventist and she's hot.
Yeah.
Wow. So when does she work there?
In the afternoons, I think. Well, I would always like go in and she would always be there, and then
so
she said
like Seventh-day Adventists tend to be female, like 2 to 1 basically on guys.
God, I'm in the wrong religion.
They tend to be hot.
Oh my God.
And kind of sweet and shy, and they're not like slutty and trashy, and they don't have tats, and they're not, slimy, and they tend not to have STDs.
Okay.
So they've got many wonderful qualities.
Okay.
Like I always like a girl who doesn't have STDs, doesn't have tattoos,
right,
isn't really slimy and just slutty and a total tramp, and a motorcycle mama.
And let me ask you one more thing. And she's also have to have perfect grammar.
Well, that's only if I want a relationship, and it doesn't have to be perfect, but she has to have good grammar if she wants to have a relationship with
She has to have good grammar, and she should have high heels and a business suit.
I like that. Those are a bonus if she doesn't mind playing my therapist.
Oh, you want a therapist? You want a mommy? Are you looking for mommy?
No, I'm looking for a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
But I just wanted to play a therapist for a few minutes just to get me going.
Okay.
Because I'm almost 45 now, so
when do you turn 45?
I need a little more help.
When's your birthday?
On Shabbos.
This coming Shabbos is your birthday?
Yeah.
Wow, big happy birthday coming up to Luke, huh? Everybody give Levi a round of applause because his birthday is this week. All right. That's exciting stuff. Your birthday is this Shabbos. We're talking about your Shabbos Parashat Bemidbar.
45th.
And you're going to be bar mitzvah. You're going to have your birthday that day. That's great. Okay, so big shout out to them. All right, so on that video that went viral and spiral, there was a question from one of the people who saw that. So I thought I would raise the question here and answer it. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Is that fair?
Yeah.
Okay. The question is, brain death. Wait, let me backtrack. Last week we were talking about how kosher slaughter And I said that kosher slaughter is the most humane form, and we went into great detail. If you have to watch last week, and that we use a knife, and the knife has to go through the neck, and it's like instantaneous. The animal doesn't feel pain, and they're knocked out right away, and it's the most humane form of slaughter here in America. And somebody wrote in, and their comment was, brain death takes 10 minutes. So do you hook up an AKG to its brain, and make sure there's no activity, as you say, painless? I don't know what an AKG is.
EKG.
EK?
EKG. That's
EKG.
where you measure brain waves.
So they did a typo there.
Yeah.
So it's
EKG.
It's EKG.
Yeah.
Okay. So they
measure brain waves.
So they measure brain waves. We're going to say no, but here's my answer. The short answer is no. Here's the long answer. Can I read it?
Yeah.
It's from the OU, the Orthodox Union website, and I'm just going to read it. Kosher slaughter involves cutting the trachea and the esophagus. Remember we talked about the two pipes last week, right?
Yes.
With a sharp...
It's very important, folks.
Don't go into blowjobs right now.
Chas v'shalom.
Okay. A flawless knife. At the same time, the carotid...
Carotid.
Okay, that's easy for you to say. The carotid arteries, which are the primary supplier of blood to the brain, are severed. And this profound loss of blood and the massive drop in blood pressure, they're going to render the animal insensate almost immediately. Okay? Studies done by Dr. H. Dukes at the Cornell University School of Veterinary Medicine, and by the way, Cornell is very highly ranked when it comes to agricultural department.
Yeah, I was going to study there.
Yeah, I would say it's, if you're on the East Coast and you want to study like anything to do with food science or veterinary stuff, go to Cornell. That's
Absolutely.
the top. That's the top.
That's what I was looking at.
Okay. And it says indicates the animal's unconscious within seconds of the incision. So they put the knife in and it's like almost immediate. The animal is unconscious, doesn't feel anything. Now, it should be...
And you can also see this in many of those Muslim terrorist videos. When they behead people, you can see how quickly...
Well, usually when the head comes off, the Torah says the person's dead.
Yeah,
It says-
they look pretty dead in those videos.
Well, the Torah actually says, it says, Pasik Reshi V'lo Nichale, and it says the person gets their head cut off and they're not dead. The Torah has a question on that. It's like, it's a rhetorical question. It's like, you have to sing it like that, because it assumes that if a person's head is cut off, they're dead. So that's the same thing with cutting the, what is it, the carotid?
Carotid.
Carotid artery. I can't say that word. It's too hard for me. Okay. Now, it should be kept in mind that in a non-kosher plant, in a treif plant, when the animal is killed, it's by a shot with a captive bolt to the brain. Boom! Right? Often it has to be reshot a second time, sometimes up to 6 times before the animal actually collapses. 6 times the animal has to be reshot and reshot again. Okay?
Did you see No Country for Old Men?
No.
Oh, there was a serial killer who walked around with one of those things, and he'd go up to people.
Oh, that's disgusting. And you have to keep shooting them. It's like you have to empty like a
He was able to do it
cartridge.
with once.
Okay, you have to like empty like a cartridge, like a revolver, and you have like 6 bullets in the revolver. You have to empty the entire, the whole chamber, the whole cartridge thing. Because the USDA permits up to a 5% initial failure rate. Okay, USDA has no problem if, let's say, you have 20 behemoths, 20 cows, and one of them has to be like reshot and reshot again. No problem. Okay, so you can assume that if there's 100 head of cattle going into a non-kosher plant, then 5 of them have been reshot 6 times. So if you're okay with that, then you should be totally okay with kosher, because kosher doesn't allow even a 1 of those. If something happens like really bad and the animal's not dead, it's treif. It doesn't even sold as kosher. Iowa Secretary of Agriculture Patty Judge inspected agri-processors. Now we spoke about agri-processors, which is the kosher plant that was in Iowa. Postville, Iowa. She found the handling of the animals to be humane and commendable. She said, after viewing the slaughtering, that the animals were unconscious within 2 to 3 seconds. Okay?
So many of my days.
All right. Yeah, it's because of your beard. They see the beard and they're going.
I tell them scream and I'll kill you.
Well, that's always a good line. She also said that chickens were handled more carefully by the rabbis than by her own grandmother on the farm. I was always like wondering, like, what's her grandmother doing on the farm playing with the